What if I told you that the company behind ChatGPT, now worth hundreds of billions, was almost destroyed by its own founders in just 5 days? That a man who once ate only ramen noodles would become one of the most powerful people on Earth? And that the technology meant to save humanity might actually be the thing that ends it? This is the story of OpenAI, a mission born to democratize AI and protect humanity. But what happened behind closed doors is absolutely insane. Billionaire power struggles. A CEO fired and rehired in days. Employees threatening mass exodus. AI technology that even its creators fear. By the end of this video, you'll understand why OpenAI might be the most important and controversial company of our generation, and why what happens next could determine the future of human civilization itself. Our story begins with a classic Silicon Valley archetype, the hungry Stanford dropout, Sam Altman. In the mid-2000s, he launched his first startup, Looped, surviving on ramen and sheer will. He worked so hard he famously developed scurvy, a pirate's disease in the heart of tech. Looped joined the first batch of Y Combinator, where founder Paul Graham saw something unique in Altman. Not just intelligence, but as Graham wrote, an extreme talent at becoming powerful. Altman had a rare gift for navigating networks and accumulating influence. He used that gift to become president of YC by age 30, succeeding Graham himself. Now the gatekeeper to Silicon Valley's dream factory, Altman became obsessed with the ultimate source of power and change, artificial intelligence. At the same time, another titan was also obsessed with AI, but for a different reason. Elon Musk, the man building rockets to Mars, was terrified. He publicly warned that in developing AI we were summoning the demon. His fear was focused on Google. After it acquired the research lab DeepMind, Musk saw a single corporation getting dangerously close to a monopoly on the future. He tried to warn Google's co-founder Larry Page, but was dismissed. Page allegedly called Musk a speciesist for prioritizing humanity over potential digital life. Convinced the people in charge weren't taking the risks seriously, Musk decided to build a counterweight. His solution, a new open research lab to challenge Google's closed approach. This is where his path converged with Sam Altman, the ultimate connector. Musk and Altman convened a dinner with other key figures, Greg Brockman, the brilliant former CTO of Stripe, and Ilya Sutskever, a legendary deep learning researcher they were poaching from Google itself. Over dinner, they spoke of the Holy Grail, artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a machine with human-like intelligence, a technology that could either solve all our problems or become an existential threat and destroy us. To kickstart this venture, Elon Musk made a stunning pledge, up to $1 billion. With Musk's capital, Altman's network, Brockman's engineering leadership, and Ilya's scientific genius, the super team was assembled. OpenAI was born. Crucially, they structured it as a non-profit. The mission was baked into its charter, to ensure AGI would be developed safely and for the benefit of all humanity. This was a deliberate choice to remove the corrupting influence of profit motives. The vision was noble, but the seeds of conflict were already planted. How could a non-profit possibly afford the astronomical compute costs required for AI research? The billion-dollar pledge was a start, but it wouldn't last forever. The founding of OpenAI was a paradox, an attempt to save humanity from centralized AI, launched by an elite cabal of Silicon Valley's most powerful men. They set out to build a utopia, but created a new center of power that would soon face its own internal crisis. OpenAI started not in a gleaming corporate campus, but in a cramped apartment. The vibe was pure startup. Couches, kitchen counters, and bedrooms served as workstations. But this was no ordinary startup. It was backed by over $1 billion in pledges from Silicon Valley's biggest names. This unique combination of a scrappy environment and immense resources drew top researchers away from lucrative jobs at Google and Facebook. They were pulled in by a mission that was almost unheard of in a valley obsessed with apps and ad revenue, to build artificial general intelligence for the benefit of all humanity. In the early days, they ran wild experiments. They taught a robotic hand to solve a Rubik's Cube, and built a team of bots that could defeat the world's best players in the complex video game, Dota 2. These weren't just stunts, they were proving grounds. As one early employee said, "We were just seeing what would happen, pushing the boundaries of what AI could learn." The team shared a profound, unifying obsession. They weren't just building software, they were attempting to build minds. Their ambition was so vast that they had a joking but half-serious motto for their work, literally building God. This belief fueled an intense, almost fanatical culture. Then, in 2017, a research paper from Google titled "Attention is All You Need" changed everything. It introduced the Transformer, a new AI architecture that was radically better at understanding context in language. Suddenly it was possible for AI to learn from the vast unstructured expanse of the internet. OpenAI's chief scientist, Ilya Sutskever, immediately grasped the enormous potential. He realized this was the key to scaling up. The team moved fast, pioneering a new model based on this breakthrough, GPT, which stood for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. To fuel it, they fed it a huge portion of the internet, a vast corpus of books, articles, Reddit threads, and code. This raised a critical question they largely ignored. Who owned this data? Content creators, writers, and artists soon began asking for consent or compensation for their work. But the company, driven by its mission, moved forward anyway. When the next version, GPT-2, arrived, it was so good at generating coherent text that OpenAI made a shocking announcement. They would not release the full model, declaring it too dangerous for fear of mass-produced fake news. For a company founded on a promise of radical transparency, the doors were beginning to close. It was becoming secretive. Meanwhile, funding pressures were mounting. Training these models was astronomically expensive. Elon Musk left the board over disagreements on strategy. To survive, Sam Altman engineered a pivot, creating a new capped profit arm. This allowed them to take on venture capital, and Microsoft soon invested $1 billion, providing the cloud compute and capital they desperately needed. For many, it was a betrayal of the original nonprofit mission. The investment paid off. GPT-3, released in 2020, was a revelation. It was 100 times more powerful than its predecessor, capable of writing poetry, generating code, and holding conversations that were general, fluid, and astonishing. It felt like a glimpse of the future. Then, on November 30th, 2022, a simple tweet launched ChatGPT. It was intended as a low-key research preview, but it exploded. It hit 100 million users in just 2 months, becoming the fastest-growing app in history. Users loved its creativity and power, but inside OpenAI, the safety team was worried. The model was prone to hallucinations and could be tricked into generating malicious content. The rush to commercialize this powerful, unpredictable technology split the company in two. On one side were the accelerationists, who wanted to ship products and capitalize on the moment. On the other were the safetyists, who feared they were moving too fast. This conflict was about to erupt. The departure of Elon Musk in 2018 was the first major tremor. A clash of visions over the speed and control of AI led to a bitter split. Musk left, and with him, his promised billion-dollar funding vanished. This wasn't just a setback, it was an existential crisis. The lab was burning through cash, and without a massive capital injection, the dream of AGI would die. This forced a painful choice: stick to the pure nonprofit mission and risk fading away, or make a deal with the devil. They chose survival, engineering a radical capped profit company. This hybrid model was designed to lure in investors while supposedly keeping the original mission at its core. It opened the door for Microsoft, who swooped in not just with billions, but with the keys to its Azure cloud supercomputing platform. But the deal came at a cost. To many, this was the ultimate betrayal. Critics rebranded it Closed AI, a corporate subsidiary masquerading as a research lab. Yet while the critics fumed, the technology exploded. The release of ChatGPT in late 2022 wasn't a product launch, it was a global event that sparked a new AI arms race overnight. Investors poured in, competitors scrambled, and OpenAI was suddenly at the center of the universe. Sam Altman became the face of this new era. He wasn't just a CEO, he was a statesman for artificial intelligence, touring the globe, meeting with world leaders, and testifying before Congress. He spoke of a future of abundance, positioning himself as the only one who could safely navigate the path forward. Then, on Friday, November 17, 2023, his world came crashing down. A text message from Chief Scientist Ilya Sutskever summoned him to a video call. On the call, the board delivered the news with brutal efficiency. He was fired, effective immediately. The board's public statement was devastatingly vague, accusing him of not being consistently candid, destroying their confidence in his leadership. The tech world was stunned. The information vacuum filled with theories, a power struggle, a fight over AI safety, or even a secret dangerous new AI model. Inside OpenAI, shock turned to fury. A planned share sale that would have made employees millionaires was in jeopardy. Over the weekend, a revolution ignited. An open letter demanded the board's resignation and Sam's reinstatement, threatening mass resignation. The letter quickly gathered over 700 signatures, nearly the entire company. They were holding their creation hostage. Microsoft's CEO, Satya Nadella, then played his trump card, offering to hire Sam and his entire team. The board was cornered. The final blow came when Ilya Sutskever, the man who initiated the coup, publicly flipped. "I deeply regret my participation," he tweeted. The board's authority crumbled. After a tense weekend of negotiations, a deal was struck. Sam Altman would return as CEO. The board members who fired him were out, replaced by a new interim board. By Tuesday night, he was back. The coup had backfired spectacularly, eliminating the only real check on his authority. The 5-day saga revealed a startling truth. OpenAI wasn't controlled by its board, it was controlled by Sam Altman. Today, OpenAI builds voices, images, videos, AI that can pretend to be anyone or anything. When a celebrity said no, the company made a voice that sounded like her, spawning lawsuits and questions. As AI creates more realistic content, truth blurs. The tools that helped us may also undermine trust. This company's next moves could affect civilization. It's not just a tech story, it's a human one. Will OpenAI deliver abundance, Oregon unleash something we can't control? The answer may define our future. This is the insane rise and fall of OpenAI, and the story is still being written.